We're back. I'm Tina Trenner. This is Tina and Friends, and my friends Anthony Barney, Tony as we call him, and Larry Harrison. And I just want to kind of change the subject here. You have to admit that last was really interesting about insurance. You learned a lot, but we're going to talk about something else. I am so tired of hearing that the Tea Party people are racist. I mentioned earlier in the show, we went down to Searchlight, and let me assure you, there are all colors of people at the Tea Party. So how they become racist is beyond me, but I am sick and tired of the name calling. You cannot have people calling you names and think that they're legitimate people. If you have a political argument, and you start calling somebody names, you lost, bud. You lost because you don't have a legitimate answer to the question. Am I right?
You're right.
I am so, am I right?
Absolutely.
Of course I am. Well, beyond that, they had an incident where a congressman, several congressmen, were walking up the stairs at a demonstration back in Washington, and the gentleman claimed that he was spit on. Now, I don't know about you. I'm not calling him a liar. I'm just saying, I don't know about you, but if some stranger spit on me, first thing I would do is wipe it off my face. Would you not?
Oh, well, sure.
Would you?
Absolutely.
He didn't. He did not. He did turn and look at the guy, but you watch that the next time they run it, because they run it ad nauseum. And the next time you see it, say to yourself, how come he didn't wipe the spit off his face? Duh. What do you think?
Well, I think when you're attempting to demean somebody by calling them names, you essentially have lost the argument, because the only way you're going to be successful, at least from a political standpoint, is if you can win on your ideas. And your ideas are the most important foundation for what you're doing as a politician. The gutter sniping, the war of words in terms of demeaning one another, I think that really,
it's beyond pitiful.
It only serves to lower the public discourse, and yet.
But here's the thing: we've worked for years to try and get racism out of this country. We've taught our children not to be racist. My parents taught me not to be a racist. I mean, isn't that right? And
Absolutely.
we've tried for years, and now they're trying to make, they're bringing this insane new government on us, and because we don't like it, we're racist? What in the, don't you think this is wrong?
Racism is wrong.
Not racism, saying you're a racist because you don't agree with this crap.
I don't know of anybody in the Tea Party that's saying that they're a racist. I think
No,
that
other
maybe,
people are calling the Tea Party people racist.
well, that's because they have to call somebody a name.
Oh,
So they,
all right.
I mean, if they don't agree with them, then they call them names.
I know, but it's the wrong name. It's just the wrong name. I mean, I could take other names. Call me a redneck. That's okay. I don't care. In fact, I decided maybe I am one. I didn't know this, but the other day I was driving down the road, had my pickup truck, had my dog, had Merle Haggard playing, and it came over me. I'm a redneck. I didn't know. It's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine.
Well, and I think for me, when I think about the whole dynamic of racism, everyone knows racism is wrong, and yet one of my most favorite books was written by Clarence Thomas. Was called My Grandfather's Son, and he talks about the great nature and character of his grandfather that essentially raised him. And one of the things that Clarence Thomas really hit on in his book was the fact that we must look at people for the works and the good will that they show forth in society. And that's really what I took away from the book. And he said, you know, it's interesting when you think about the whole idea of racism, you really have to look at it through the lens of the individual that may be being demeaned through racism, but more importantly, you have to look at the ulterior motive of the individual that's actually casting those dispersions.
Well, it's disgusting, and I don't know one person at the Tea Parties that's a racist. Not to say that there aren't some. Must be 20,000 people at one gathering. Somebody's got to be a weirdo there. But most of them are decent, hardworking, tax-paying Americans that care about their country, period. We're going to be back next week, and we're going to have another great show, but we're out of time, so we'll see you then.